What is up, game changers? It is I, Juniper Blue Mystique. I am an ascension master, master healer, and divine guide. I am the one who brought it all about. That is not a joke nor a lie. It is very real. It is life-changing, and it is amazing as well. For those who don't know me really quick, I had a Kundalini awakening in 2019. I was not into the spiritual aspect of life. I was just a single mom. I had a psychology degree and I worked very hard to survive abuse, okay? Then in 2019, I had a sudden boom onset of an awakening. This was a Kundalini awakening I did not call forward. It happened to and through me. Then all of a sudden, I started doing healings I'd never seen or done before. Hello, Andrea. And then these healings, though, were like crazy, right? They were like healings of another kind, healings I've really never seen done anywhere else, and healings in an amazing way. I was healing people through heart attacks, through Parkinson's disease, through all kinds of things. So these healings alone were enough to make me go, what is happening? Then every time Spirit would nudge me to do something, I had many things coming through all the time from God telling me what to do, who I was, kind of, not really at first. What is up, Amy? Good morning, everybody. Just a quick recap for those who don't know. Then I started doing healings to the earth. They asked me to do them through workshops. That is the way I was nudged to do it. Partly because there were people who were supposed to rise with me, right? What is up, Gigi? Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you all can hear me okay. And then I started doing things like clearing Mount Shasta, activating pyramids, returning the portal of God to where it rightfully belonged, returning the all-seeing eye, right? Undoing that false veil, undoing it. It will never, ever be done again. Opening up the 13 gates through into heaven. I dried out the Nile. I rebirthed the earth. And those are just a few of the things. Part of the pyramids that I activated were all over the globe. Some of these were in Africa, not necessarily in Egypt. The only one in Egypt I messed with, which was the Sphinx, which is not its original name at all. Its original name really means return to Horus, which if you know me and you watch what I do, when I activated a pyramid in Ecuador, they told me that that was one of my lifetimes. The others that I have cleared were Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and then again, Sekhmet and Horus. That is a lot. It's a lot to process. It's a lot to understand. So I encourage you to stick around on this channel, like and subscribe if you choose to. At the very least, watch the videos that I post because it all played out on this channel. And some of them happen live, like on Christmas last year when I united Jesus and Mary Magdalene and I undid the false Holy Grail. That really did happen. So what is up, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am feeling so good from the last workshop we did. Let me tell you, we did a workshop, a couple days ago, Friday night, right? It was Friday night with the full moon energy. And in this one, I aligned more planets because remember, I took us into 7D. So that is who I am. I don't play games. I don't joke around. These are very real. I do move planets. Okay. I do. That's part of what I do. We have actually gained more. And this is evolution at hand. So we are meant to be evolving. So we gained more chakras within our system. But not only that, you guys, some of you are aware that a week ago, I processed the Earth's death, right? Well, this last week, I opened up, I purified her, and I opened up the gates of heaven, and it encompassed all of Earth. So I spread the Garden of Eden all over. But before I could do that, we had to heal Gatlinburg. And I'm like, Gatlinburg, I was like asking, I was like, is there a pyramid there? Spirit was like, no. And then I remembered, I looked it up, that there was some darkness there, right? Gatlinburg, I guess in the 1800s, they had some things there. But what came through in the workshop was that it was a power takeover, like a puppeteer master. And my DM was in the energy with me, and he helped me clear that. So I was very happy to feel him. It made my day in many ways. And to heal that. And then with that, we brought about heaven to earth. Now, I will give a warning with that, okay? Because with that, it's the end of ways. There is no time left. You have to heal. You must heal. You must heal, and you must heal now, because as those lights are ascending onto the planet, it is going to burn what is not of that, okay? It was just kind of like in the movies, how I would see it. It was like everything that would touch that light that didn't align in the purest of heart, like burned. It burned in flames. Hi, Just Saint. Everybody's here this morning. I'm so happy for that. So I needed to talk about that. A week ago, I processed her death, which was very painful. It was extremely painful. And then Friday, with the full moon, I was able to bring heaven to earth. So we opened up the gates. Guys, this is not a joke. This is nothing to mock at. This is God bringing about the return of Christ. This is the end of ways. And October is actually very relevant for that, right? So I will give a little bit of insight into the energies of October as well. But this is important for people to know because recently I spoke of only having 2 years left. And at this time, right before I did that workshop, other people left my energy and there was another attack against us. Really didn't do anything at all. I had to heal a little bit before I went into the workshop. They were pulling some darkness that was left over from my attack on my original DM, which was kind of cool. So yesterday, my ass was kicked. Like I couldn't do much at all. My ear was hurting and I was recovering, but it was quite beautiful. And as I was watching the Garden of Eden spread across all of the land and the heavens, the energy of heaven, and watching what doesn't belong burn, it felt so good to my soul. Some people might look at that and go, oh, she's spreading fear. Well, if that's how you feel, then your lens is through fear. And that is not of God at all. For the energies of October are all about getting right with God. Okay. If you cannot get right with God, He's going to keep pushing you to do so. Okay. One thing he wants me to talk about is it came through, and then I even pulled cards on it and it came through in there as well, is that there's floods going on all over the earth, right? There's floods going on in New York. Have you noticed that? Like a lot of New York is underwater. There's a lot of prophecies of earthquakes going on all over the world. And if you watch me activate pyramids, I tell you all the time I'm causing earthquakes, okay? I tell you all the time that I'm drawing light through these volcanoes and pyramids and they will erupt. And right now, God is giving very loud warnings. And that is what he is calling them, is warnings. It is actually in the energy for October. The energy of October is all about getting right with yourself and getting right with God and creating miracles from that space only. Okay, so these energies are going to be challenging. And God is wanting you to pay attention to these warnings because it's not just warnings for you as an individual. If you're paying attention and you're not in ego, right? I see people leave sometimes when I say these things. Ego will not suffice. Okay, fear is not of God, right? It's not. And so when you hear all these prophetic people talking about these warnings, that's what they are. It's God saying ahead of time that, hey, big changes are coming. Are you listening? Are you hearing me? Are you paying attention? Are you doing what I've brought for you to do? Are you healing to the umpteenth degree? Are you uniting with yourself in unconditional love, right? It is truly about being reborn. I talk about this all the time. The earth is being reborn and she has her own karmic kickback, right? Each one of these workshops that I do are portals that I open and I activate. And the way I do them is they happen in your energy and then they play out in real time. It's like a boomerang. Okay. That's how manifesting works. That's how everything works. All right. And so it is your job to listen to these warnings, to be able to hear God in your heart. Now, he also spoke of October having challenges in its own right. Okay. There are going to be ghosts of our past coming up. What those ghosts are is for you to deal with. It's your karma. Okay. And that's why those of us who've healed our karma, we won't have to deal with this. Our challenges are different. The ones who've gone through the path with me, the ones who I've walked through the gates, these messages are not all relevant for those because we've already cleared our karma. But for the majority part of humankind, there is going to be ghosts from our past coming up. And this is in the energy. It is for the entire month of October because God is trying to get you to, it's like tests, right? I talk about the gates being tests. And that's why those of us who've gone through it, our challenges are different. Okay, our time is different. It is time for us to create from the heart space, and if we're not doing that, it kicks us in the ass. But other than that, we got to be pure in the heart and create from the heart space. And abundance, the 12 gates of abundance are completely open once you've passed through those gates. And so what God is really asking you this month is, are you in your co-creator routine? Okay. That is one way to stand in strength against these things. That is how we see clearly to what is going on around us, to what is coming at us, to what is happening through these challenges of the karmic flow. Now, if your heart needs healing, it's hard to see clearly. And if we're out of balance, if we're not in a spiritual routine, that can also kick your ass, okay? Because that's when God is like, boom, it knocks us on our butt. We're not seeing clearly, okay? That's when these ghosts of the past can really knock you for a loop, all right? But when we're in a balanced routine, when we're healing, when we can see through the resistance, when we're heeding the warnings that are coming, we're paying attention and we're using them for our own strength and gain and healing purposes. And when we act like waterproof, right? When we let things just fall off of us, do not react, but be healed enough to respond, all right? That's the most important things for the energies of October is, are you healed enough to not react, but instead respond? Because these are major challenges. These are warnings. These are tests of another kind. It's a karmic test because remember, we reap what we sow in the ascension at this time. Okay. Super, super, super important. This is a road less traveled. So it is not, a lot of us face the issue of judgment, right? We all face judgment from others, not from God. Let's correct that, okay? This is about getting right with God. Now, God also said, I have a little message here too. It's about reclaiming your relationship with God, okay? Do not allow excuses to stop you or sway you, period, because they will test you this week, all right? Ego is not God. God is not found in ego or fear. And here's a big one. He is not found in religious agendas. Okay. Like I use Roger as a great example. He comes, he wants these things, he wants to know, but then he's like, I can't come here because I got to go to church. And God is telling you church is about to fall. Okay. Anything religion, because it's not true to the word of God. There is a lot of mocking God in there. That's why I talk about Jesus on the Christ. That is not a good thing. Okay. It's not. It makes me sick to my stomach. And if you think I'm antichrist, then you are not clear in the heart. Okay. Let me tell you. The religious agendas is not where God is found, and those are about to crumble. So if you are anchoring into those, heed the call. These are warnings. Okay, karmic cues. That's what he also pointed to for this month. It's really truly about karmic cues. If you are not healed to the frequency of love and you have karma, they are going to be like hitting it boom, 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 because we reap what we sow. And I had said this is a karmic timeline. Okay. Now, even those of us who've gone through the gates, it's different because we've healed all of our karma. But doesn't mean that we don't have lessons to learn. Okay. It doesn't mean that we are supposed to be the ones like pure of heart, opening through love, providing guidance, not afraid of judgment from others at all, because it's not about I'm more popular than you, or people are going to judge me and I don't want them to. Let them judge you because that is not of God. Okay. And that's difficult to do. I think some of the most troopers in that have been people of color, right? They live through judgment every day just because we're a sick nation. Okay. Also LGBTQ, like they deal with judgment all the time. And a lot of them are coming what they call out of the closet, right? Exposing themselves to others. And remember back in the day, they would get murdered for doing so. That is becoming less and less, but hate crimes still exist. So I'm going to tell you right now, do hate crimes exist for true spiritual people? Yeah, in different form. Okay. And people might throw things at me, well, not as much as LGBTQ and we're hated. Everybody is in some way, shape, or form. Okay. And that is why they talk about the world being so sick. Right? Y'all feel me on this one? Because this is the truth of October. October is about getting right with God, reclaiming your relationship with Him, and letting go of all that is not that. Now, those that have done the path are going to have an easier time through these time frames. That's why I said when I did the workshops with you guys is that we are now like outside of everything. That's why I removed us from the planet when I brought down Christ's light, because it's going to hit like fire. Okay? That's why in those movies, have you ever watched that show Manifest? In the end, they get back on the plane. I might be ruining this for you, but I really like that show. And it's their day of judgment, their day of reckoning. And those who were not right with God started to burn. They went up in flames. And I'm like, holy shibboleth, they show you truths. They show you the reality. And I think this is why they depict it like heaven and hell, where hell burns, right? And heaven is all light. But it truly is just as simple as not matching the vibration. And that's why it burns. It's true. Now, I've also talked about water reclaiming the land where it needs to and moving away from where it doesn't. That is happening, but these are warnings. Okay. What's happening in New York is a warning. What has been happening has just been warnings, meaning it is only going to get bigger and louder. And if you haven't heeded the warnings and can feel God here, that is when you anchor into those spaces. So for instance, just saints here, everybody's here can attest to this, is right before I did this last workshop, I was attacked again. This happens frequently. It's happened many times on my thing because there's always been something trying to stop the work that I do. However, this time I was more in balance. I was able to work through it. It barely affected me and we healed it. Now, when I healed it this last workshop, they burned, okay? So, and right before that, people actually left my energy. I had people unfollow at certain times, and I don't change the things that I do. But what this speaks loudly of is that, some will choose not to make it. I've talked about that. The choice is yours through free will. But as we ascend further, some will fall away. It's what it is. And even as I've gone through the gates, I'm like, why can't these people hear me anymore? That's why. Okay. So it's not a popularity contest. It's about bringing those that need to come through, because it's the end of ways, you guys. This is not about just living through your ego and living for your financial gain and all of these kinds of things. The only true financial gain will be through the gates of abundance. That's what they talk about. Okay. So on Patreon this morning, I actually started I'm going to do a monthly manifesting. I want abundance. I want us to be creating our reality, because once you're through the gates, all of your gates are open. Before that, there's healing you need to do. Can you still call in abundance? Yes, but it's equivalent to the self-love you hold within you, right? And so I know Lisa saw it on Patreon this morning, but I put some Hertz music that you can use through the month. And I will be doing daily mantras that I will put in there for you. So meditate with them, speak them. It's spell casting with me, basically. And it's for you to really, truly create your reality, because once you get through the gates, it's freedom like another kind. And sometimes I'm lost. I'm like, wait, what happened to my spirits constantly going, do this, do this, do this? It feels so weird because it's in my hands now. So that's also why only the purest of hearts can make it through, because it's freedom. It's freedom through the creation of God. It's a whole different ball game, right? You feel me? So those that did the workshop, what was your experience since then? How are you feeling? Anything come up that you wanted questions for, ask away. Today we are starting our new course, Reading Between the Lines. I have spent quite a while putting this one together, because I will be teaching you how to do tarot readings and oracle readings in 7D the way I do them. It's up to you to get there. It's up to you to strengthen your muscle through that. And of course, YouTube is showing everybody just left my live. So if you're still here, please comment, because you know how it rolls. The warnings of October, you guys, are the earth will shape you. It will either break you or make you. Okay. The earth is warning you. She's telling you that she's about to purge what doesn't belong. This is the end. For those who will not make it, they will be removed. Okay. It's not about, oh, that's sad. Why would God do that? It's not God doing that. It's karma. Okay. Lisa says, still here, whoop, whoop. You have to realize that everybody took from God. Everybody mocked God. Everybody lies through the lanes of God. And it's not okay. And that's why God specifically said he is not found in ego, fear, or religious agendas, or in the karmic cues. Use those cues, though, to help you heal. Okay? Lisa says she has felt great sense. So did I. I actually really needed this. Andrea's still here. That's awesome. So I actually really needed this last one. My DM did show up in the energy, which I needed so much. It felt so good. I can see him clearer and clearer every time he shows up. Just say it's still here. Awesome. Gigi is still here. Sweet, you guys. Thank you. So see, YouTube always lies because according to YouTube, only 3 people are here. But that's already 4 speaking. So whatever, YouTube, whatever. What we do today creates our tomorrow, right? Can I get an amen? What we do today creates our tomorrow. So if today I'm anchoring into church, if I'm choosing religion over God, then what am I doing? I'm anchoring that in for tomorrow. And I'm taking myself away from God. And I'm not a religious buff, okay? I'm spiritual. I am of God. I'm what they call a direct descendant, okay? I'm not in masculine form. I have a twin flame who is the masculine form of that. Did he step up? No. I hope he still will, though, because I can feel him on the inside. So what you guys have forgotten is they separated God. They separated God from everything. God is a masculine and feminine. It was Adam and Eve together, Jesus and Mary Magdalene together, Sekhmet and Horus together. And in each of those lifetimes, I experienced pain and death and being ripped apart from my twin flame. And that's what they try to do to you. And there is still a little bit of an imbalance. And it's our job to really work hard through that. Okay? It's our job to see through that, to heal ourselves no matter what. You know, it's important. It's really important. There's still some energy within the twin flames that there's a lot still needed. I have like this hair bothering my nose, so I'm not picking my nose. Sorry. I like feel the hair tickling. And so even if you're a twin flame, it's still a necessity to be doing the best that you can to be. It's not an easy job because it's still, we got to be bringing we got to come together. We have to bring each other through these gates. Okay. So be mindful of that. It's an internal journey, not an external one. All right. And October is here to break you or shake you or make you. There will be ghosts from the past coming up, and they're a deterrent. It's karmic cues. Okay. Use those to heal, to change the way you do things. Go against the resistance and heed the warnings from God. Make sure you're waterproof. Let things fall off of you. You find the strength and to be able to see clearly in your spiritual routines and balanced nature. Andrea, I got an email from you and I sent you your own, like the path. They want you to do the complete path, but I took some money off of it. And then there's some payment plans in there. And I was like, if this doesn't work, let me know. And I got a response from you that was blank. And I was like, I can't see anything. And that was the last I got. So I will look again. But there was nothing in there. So I did email you back. I'm not sure if you're seeing those. I gave you a link to the path to righteousness. And I gave you some payment options within it. And then I also said, if those don't work, let me know. So let me know if you got those. And Just Saint says, I have felt more connected to Source, mainly through nature, since participating in that workshop. Yes. And you want to know something? I was right after that workshop, I got all of that black tar shit that was in my neck and in my ear that was rising, right? I don't think it's 100% out of my ear though, but it was out of my throat because yesterday my ear was hurting. But it came out of my throat and and out of my heart, and I could feel my twin flame. Yesterday, I felt so much love. I felt love again. I felt that connection again. And that was the most beautiful thing to me. And then last night, things got really heavy on me. And I was like, I'm just going to have a little bit of wine. Right? I was like, I can have a little bit of wine, right? I don't smoke pot anymore because I feel like that hurts him. And so I don't want to do that. Not to mention those things don't align. And I realized I can't even drink a little bit of wine because as soon as I did that, I feel like he got worried. Like I don't want to hurt him. And so the connection grew stronger again. And I love that. That's where my happiness is. Um, and then my third eye is like opening up more and more. Those that have gone through my academy know the signs for that. And I could see things clearer. It was beautiful. I loved it. I didn't realize, because once I went through the gates, I've told Jacinth a few times, I'm like, something doesn't feel right still. But it wasn't until this last weekend and the weekend before I processed the Earth's death. And then this last weekend, I opened up the gates all over the earth. And does that mean that some will go? Yeah, I keep saying that. It was a timeline shift and some won't make it through. Each time I open up more gates, those that can't pass those levels or that don't belong here, it will reflect on them. And so, but even still in that, I'm like, oh, I felt so good. I needed that. I needed that so bad. I needed that last workshop. I felt more connected. And then I realized that, maybe the forgiveness my twin flame needs is to forgive me. Because when he didn't show the first time, everything hit me really hard from what my original twin flame did. And just that loss, because it really was a death, you guys. I've been grieving and trying to acclimate with somebody new that again didn't show up. And there were times where I wanted to give up. Okay. And so before, not anytime recently, but I would get caught up in the dark shadow call, right? Just smoke pot. It doesn't matter. So I would, and it would hurt him. And so I realized too that maybe that forgiveness that Spirit talks about for the twin flames is him also forgiving me. And then I realized last night, okay, I can't even have a glass of wine, y'all. Just a little glass of weak wine. And I could feel like him. I could feel him like tense up and get a little bit anxious in that. And I was like, nope, I'm not here. This is not going to be painful. Because when we're at a twin flame, what we do will help them either see clearly or not, right? Just saying, says, I can't drink anything anymore either. I used to love indulging in a few glasses of wine. Yes, but even a sip tastes like vinegar, right? And that's the thing, is when you go through the gates, they don't match the vibration. They don't. And all these indulge, and I'm getting chills when I said that. Even a glass of wine, I was like, whoa. It didn't feel good. I didn't feel a buzz either anymore. It was just, and I used to, because I'm a lightweight. I don't drink nothing. And I took a sip and I was just like, all I felt was tension in my solar plexus and my DM feeling anxious. And I was like, nope, nope, nope. I'm not gonna hurt you. It's okay. Because I feel like there were times on his path where when I went into a lower vibration, he couldn't see clearly. And that's a big deal, is if we're not heart-centered, our twin flame can't be either. Okay. So it is a responsibility. And that's why only certain beings are twin flames. And there's different levels of twin flames. And we have lost some twin flames, we have, because of the mishaps. But even Descent is like, I can't feel it either. She can't do it either. And it's kind of like a bummer, right? Like I smoked pot. I did. I was not a drinker, but I did that. But it's not okay. Like, it's not. It doesn't feel good. It takes you into a place that doesn't align. You actually feel so good meditating and being pure and being high vibrational. And when I feel my DM, that's home, right? It is a bummer. It's like I can't do some of those things. And that's okay, because really, honestly, we feel better connecting to nature, connecting to God and being a higher vibration. And maybe when I come together with my twin flame, I could drink a sip of wine. I don't know. I doubt that I'll want to. It just doesn't equate. Okay. It doesn't. The vibrations are so different. They really, truly are. So all night I was just like, I'm sorry. Don't worry. I'm not going to stop you from seeing and feeling. And, I would just keep trying to do the Ho'oponopono prayer into my heart space. That way my twin flame can forgive me and forgive himself, and I can do the same. Because my journey has not been normal. It's been quite painful. And the people who do comment that have watched it can attest to that. At least some are willing to, right? We should be able to support each other. And I miss that a lot. So I'm hoping we can rise into that further and further. And I do have some healing ones present that I just wanted to spread some healing love. Okay. So I have called in their energy. I have my DMs. It's not mine to use, but it is because he hasn't come to claim it and I love it. And so it's a beautiful masculine energy. I've been lighting my Jesus and Mary Magdalene candles. I never really lit them before until recently. And it's a good feeling, honestly. Is food, so that's the thing with food too. Andrea's asking about food. She said, is it the same way? Food changes. So I can't eat what if we try to eat fast food now, it makes me sick. Even my kids are saying that. They're like, oh, I can't eat that anymore. I'm like, yes, score, right? Because as a single mom, sometimes I'm like, shit, I'm tired. Let's do something. And so the vibration of food is very relevant. As the vibrations of the earth rise, I've noticed that a lot more. People are becoming more and more vegan, more and more into natural foods. Some meat is okay, but it depends on where you get it from. I will tell you that right now. If it's processed, if it's filled with hormones, if it's like the scrapings of the meat plant, which is pretty much everything you get from fast food, then it's an issue, okay? Even some vegetables, if they're not more pure, if they're GMO foods don't compute. Okay, that's why I ended up plucking the GMO farms way back when I first had my awakening. So yes. Oh, Lisa says my puppy ate one of my ones. He really felt the energy there. Jacinta's yes, same with food. Yeah, so food is definitely an issue as you rise, as you heal, because our bodies are more pure. We get rid of all the muck that doesn't belong. And what you don't realize is we were living in a fake reality. Fake foods, fake news, fake everything. And then they would make you pay for your own entertainment of demise. Like, ha ha, I'm doing this to you, just like they would do with God. Ha ha, mock God, y'all are stupid. And that's how they treated us. And they messed with our food so much. And if you think for 1 second, it's the GMOs not causing everything like autism to birth defects to all of these things, you're wrong. It's what causes cancer is in the energy in the world around us. The fake power lines, everything that you see that is not of God. Okay, because our bodies weren't designed for that. So unless the food is pure, unless what we put into it, it's an issue. Yeah. Andrea says she has a hard time with food now. Yeah, if the more healing you do too, it's going to change more and more and more. Because it's just not meant to be, right? So pay attention to that because your body is screaming for something that it actually needs that's more pure in vibration and it's healthier for you. Okay. Looks like I might have lost signal, but I don't think so. I don't know, weird. Hang on. All right. See if that fixed it. I don't know. I'm actually streaming from my mobile device, but I'm reading the comments on my computer. So you will see me look back and forth because today I've been so excited for this course that I'm bringing about. I read cards differently. Those who have watched the work that I do and get message for me, Lisa says, nope, still on, score, know that I read differently, right? I don't, because I'm a master healer. And I remember when I first started, it was so weird to get used to. And so I'm doing a course on that, but not only a course, it's a healing course. It starts today. It's 3 days long. Most of you are joining me. I'm so thankful for that. And this one is going to also heal us further into 7D for our crown, third eye, and heart chakra. And then I'm going to teach you how I read, but we're also going to practice them. Like this is going to be so fun. So if you guys want to join that, I encourage you to do so. Because as we rise, we have to change the modalities too. You are doing things from a third dimensional modality standpoint. For the most part, most people were. And so we should be getting DNA activations and going through the portals healed without karma and more of a pure heart, but also Christ light activations. And those that have had those are the ones truly healing in Christ light. The rest are not any longer. So it's important to pay attention to that. So Jasate says she still craves sugar, but she tries to stay away from refined sugars. Incorporate more natural sugars such as honey, maple syrup, berries, and fresh fruit. I do too. And you can get sugar in the raw. right? I get that too. That's what I have. I tried the more pure flour and it didn't cook right, so I'm still having a hard time with that. But yeah, me too. I still crave certain things. I still drink my coffee. And I'm getting this nudge to like start kind of weaning off of that a little bit. I do fast. If you guys haven't noticed, I've been losing a little bit of weight. I've been fasting and listening to my body and trying to heal. Meat can at times make me feel horrible too, but every now and then, let me tell you, I have to have some good crispy bacon. And I never used to like bacon. But every now and then, I'm like, dude, I tell my 15-year-old, I taught him how to cook bacon. I'm like, make me some bacon. He's like, all right. He was supposed to today and he hasn't, so I got to get on him. So it's about balance, right? I know we still live in a world of fakeness, but as long as we're paying attention, we're keeping our vibration more high. It doesn't mean that we can't have some things every now and then. But since my twin flame has had a rough journey, I don't feel like it's all his fault that he didn't show up some of the times that he was called forward. It was probably because he felt some of my haste and couldn't read it right, or some of what I did also blocked him from seeing clearly. Because when I had that glass of wine, I could feel him have a reaction. And I was like, oop, nope, nope, nope. So I just chugged some water and I didn't ever even feel a buzz. That was the weird thing. I'm such a lightweight. A little bit would make me feel buzzed. And I was like, what was the purpose of that shit? It just doesn't equate. It doesn't compute. It's sad because I have my old habits too that are hard to get rid of, right? From the things that we do, our little coping mechanisms, the foods that we like to eat. Bleh. But I will tell you, I still like ice cream sometimes. And then going from fried foods, I've just been incorporating more like sweet potatoes. So yesterday I made some homemade sweet potato hash browns. And there's ways around things. I know people make bacon from carrots. I have that recipe. I just haven't tried it yet. I'm like, all right, God, send me a man who likes to cook. Like, you know? And then I'm like, oh, wait, I'm a twin flame. I can't just go be with anybody. Wonder if he likes to cook. I wonder if he'll ever show up. Jeez. So, yeah. Again, I can tell you unequivocally so, everything that caused all of the shit and the nuances and the crap is the GMOs. They've been genetically modifying your foods. They've been genetically modifying V's, and they've done it slowly and slowly until now. If you can't tell by now, that V is so beyond fake and it's so man-made, and it is designed to mess you up. It's designed to cut you off from source. It does that through genetic modification. Okay? So as you are becoming more pure, more awake, you see these things. One of the awakening stages is noticing how fake foods are. Okay? That is an awakening stage. Noticing how fake your world is around you. Noticing how fake foods are. Noticing that people around you are not aligned in love also is part of that sometimes. Okay? Because you start to rise into it. And that's why Spirit says it's so important to have an inward journey, not an outward one. Okay? Because our karma will try to sway you. And October is going to be that. We have ghosts from our past popping up. We have to be waterproof and go against the resistance and listen to the warnings of God because they are speaking loudly. Okay? They do. Yes, Andrea's right about that. Fruits and veggies go bad so fast. That's why I like beans and chili and things too. You can get them in those things. I've been buying lemons and I mean to cut them up and freeze them. But literally I'm working 2 jobs and I'm so stressed it's not even funny. And I'm like, And Spirit keeps telling me, create your reality. And I'm like, like I've done so much work. But it's not an easy thing to transition out of a fake reality and into a new one. It's also not an easy thing to let go of, some of those codependent relationship ties, because that's where it stems from. That's what they've taught us to do. And it's super important right now to let go of religious agendas because God is not within those at all. Okay? There is a divide. The other day I saw Landria Unk, right? She did a video, and I didn't watch the whole video. Even the title struck me wrong. She's like, how can you tell the chosen ones from the non-chosen ones? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, they are going to start to show their faces, right? The false prophets, the false everything. And she's like, the chosen ones don't tell you who they are. And I'm like, bitch, you're telling everybody who you are. I was like, excuse my language, but you see what I'm saying? I'm like, this is such an ego statement right here. But this doesn't make sense. She's contradicting herself. Because I'm like, you're out here talking about you and how you can help people do this and that and the other and how, you know, you're this and that. And I'm like, that totally contradicts and negates what she was saying. So, and then I'm like, so you're sitting here saying I'm not supposed to listen to God and tell you all who I am? No. Mm-mm. The only divide is in those who truly are connected and those that are not. It's, are you in the light or are you in the darkness? And it's your job to get over to the light. That's why we are supposed to be telling you who we are. The difference is I am not drawn by ego. Okay? I'm not driven by ego. If you don't like me, okay. You know what I'm saying? I do what I do against the resistance. I do what I do because God tells me to do it. The fake ones will lie to you. Okay, that is a difference right there. Is I can sit here and do a healing right here live. I've done it many, many times, and a lot of these people that come and comment have received them. Okay, they know that I'm pure of heart. I don't make you email me for questions. I don't have to do research into what you ask me. I just, oh, there was a time too where people would ask me and I would have no choice but the answer to flow through. That's how you can tell the true from the fake. Okay, I'm not driven by ego. I'm not driven by the need for money and power and fame. I am driven by the pureness of my heart and what God tells me to do, and I did it against all judgment and others' egos along the way. Okay? No matter what pain, no matter what resistance, no matter what came against me, I never swayed. Okay? We are supposed to be talking about who we are, though. And so when she's like, the chosen ones don't tell you who they are, that's not always true. They should be. They get the nudge to do so. The difference is we do it against money. We do it against these things. God had me lose everything for a reason, okay? Because I can't be driven by power and fame. It was always driven by the pureness of heart space. Okay, that's the difference. Like Teal Swan, I use as a really good example because she's faker than Fakerson. Okay, she lies through her freaking teeth, and it's disgusting. And she's not the only one. Sad Guru, he's another fake one. However, some of the information he gets did come from a pure state. But the thing is they use it to manipulate. So he pushes a lot of fear. Sad Guru pushes a lot of fear. I don't push fear. I'm speaking the truth. Are people going to die? Yes, they are. Every day because of the work that I did. It's through their free will. I keep telling you what to do to not go out that way. It's not about fear, it's about power, right? The Sad Guru will sit here and tell you, don't wear black or you're going to do this. He also tells you, don't wear your dead loved one's clothing or all this kind of weird stuff. And it's like, dude, go wash your tongue. Right? Go wash your tongue. Roger's in church, Andrea. I'm glad you asked this. Yeah, he keeps anchoring pretty far into that religion that's not the correct agenda. So he doesn't come on Sundays unless he gets blocked from church, unfortunately. And to be honest with you, that's a little scary to me. But again, I can only lead you to water. I can't make you drink. You don't have to believe me that the cross is false, that Jesus did not die on the cross. And if you keep taking that over what is true God, then you're in trouble. You know, if you keep anchoring into things that are not of God, that's where you're in trouble. If you're more worried about, well, I don't want to quit this job even though God's been telling me to, it's because your ego gets in the way. And if you allow that to happen, then we can be in trouble. You know what I mean? Hoping we could have helped each other. Who, Roger and you? Now, Roger has come many, many times, but he will not... No, he did not purchase Stepping Stones through Awakening. No, he did not. And you know, I tried to give it to him for like very little amount of money and everything. But in the end, he did not. Um, it is what it is. That's the thing, is I can't make people heal. Okay? And people, I already feel it in the energy. There will be people who go, oh, she just wants your money. No, what I need from you is an exchange. I've known Roger for years. I've given him free messages over and over and over again, but he's not hearing the messages, okay? So if you're not willing to do the work God provides you to do, then you aren't going to fully heal into it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. And that's why God talks about, these are warnings. He's giving you warnings. People know that if it was about money from me, then I don't care if you can't afford it or not. That's on you, okay? When people can't afford the work that I do, I go with what they can't afford. You understand? But there has to be some kind of an exchange. The reason why is once you start going through my work, there's no turning back, and it's going to kick your ass if you choose against the light. But you're all going to be, now that I've brought heaven to earth, you have no choice but to go through those gates. So whatever gate your karma is presented at that is deeper, that you can't see through, those are the ones that will burn. Okay? It's karmic based. You reap what you sow, right? And so ego gets in the way, fear gets in the way, those kinds of things. He says he will. He still has not to this day. So I do. I try to help all the time. I even give free help. And there will be something in October that I will give away free, like a meditation, something to Spirit's nudging for. So I'm down with that too. I'm always trying to present things. I'm always trying to do things, but there's a lot of judgment that comes my way. And so there has to be an exchange of some sort. The more people do, I'm like, hey, here's this for free. When you're doing the work and you're showing up and you pay what you can pay when you can pay it, I'm more apt to give you stuff for free. Just saying, she's a graduate. I do healing exchanges with her. I was with Amy, but Amy's doing her own thing at this time. So, I can only go as far as people will allow themselves to go. Just saying, she used to pay for healings with me. She went through my academy. She went through both my academies, the Path to Righteousness and my academy for light healers. She learned how to heal. She opened her heart to purification, and now we help each other. Okay? And it's free. We just do exchanges. So if you get in your ego and your shadow wants to convince you that all I care about is your money better be purified anyways. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not going to make it through. Money shmoney. I have been homeless throughout this entire thing sometimes. Which never really was, because I always create my reality, made sure that I wasn't. My car is still sitting in my driveway with a flat tire. I can't get any mail to help me. Okay? I asked my son, he hasn't helped me. I asked my brother, he ignored me. I don't have a DM who should be here. I'm not supposed to be alone. So every day I'm like, all right, trying to manifest some shit, right? So again, if you think it's about money for me, I would already be rich. All right? I would be like Teal Swan and just not care what I'm really doing to people, how far I sway them into darkness. Just give me your money. But there's a difference between pure and not pure. Okay? So when I tell you I need an exchange, that's because the work that I do is very real. Once you step through the work that I do, you're on your way through the gates. And it's up to you to not let things sway you. Or you have to be strong in that. And usually when people pay for something, they're more apt to do the work. Kind of like when we go to college, we pay for it. We pay more attention. When we're in high school, we're like, fuck this. I don't want to learn. I don't want to do that for the most part, right? That's how I was. But then I went to school, I was like 4.0 student the whole entire way. Because I'm paying for that. I put a lot more into what I work for. Does that make sense? So that's why I do these exchanges. And I told Roger I would give him the message if he was going to buy that. And he didn't. And then he didn't show up again today. He's at church instead. So I'm like, people can anchor in where they want to anchor in. But if you think God is in the house of church that you go to, generally speaking, he is not. There was one church that I did relate to. It was non-denominational. And we would just pray together. That was so cool. The power in numbers is true. It's real. And he would quote certain things from the Bible, but even he would say, well, that doesn't sound right, right? Yes. I love that. Correct. God is omnipresent. That's right. That is right. He is everywhere and in everything. But when you go into these house of religions, got to be careful. Their agendas are not pure. Okay? They have agendas, and it's outside of that. The ones who make you eat the wine, drink the wine, eat the bread, I wouldn't do that if I were you. He didn't die on a cross. How do I know that? I processed his death. And I united him and Mary Magdalene, and I undid the false Holy Grail. It was not holy at all. It was actually a contract written in Jesus's blood. They made Mary gather it in the cup. Why do you think they make you think the cup was the Holy Grail? It wasn't. Okay. I undid that last Christmas, live on this channel. It came through live. They said, miss work. I said, okay. And I did a video that day, not knowing what was coming. So you are about to watch the church fall, the false one. You're going to watch anything that's not of God fall. And on Friday, I opened up the gates all over the earth. The entire earth will now become the Garden of Eden. Okay, that's the return. The entire earth will now become the Garden of Eden. And everything that doesn't align with that vibration can't stay. Okay? Make it the sense? So, those who joined my workshop this last weekend, do you want a free message? I'd be glad to give you one. Those who are joining my course today, I'm so excited. This is going to be so much fun. You're going to learn how to read tarot and oracle from the pure channel state. So I'm really excited, and it's going to be nerve-wracking a little bit, right? The White House is falling. Yes. So did you watch, Gigi says, yes, please. Did you watch the workshop, Andrea, where I activated pyramids in Congo, British Columbia? That one, and it has the picture of the White House burning on it. That one's super relevant, but also so is clearing Mount Shasta part 1 and 2, because in those I undo contracts from the White House. But in this last one, the Congo, Kilimanjaro, that one, the White House will burn, but it can never be rebuilt, ever. The true leaders of the new earth are the king and queen who brought it about. Okay, it's a masculine and feminine. That was Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus. They're the same soul. Let me repeat that. Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus is the same soul. It's the masculine and feminine counterparts of God. And those are the lifetimes I cleared. Those are the gates that I opened. I showed you guys how it aligned with Revelations the other day on my channel, and everything that I do has been proven. Yeah, you have to watch. See, that's the thing, is I keep posting these videos for everybody to watch, and nobody watches them. And that's why God says it's time to reclaim your relationship, right? To know who God truly is. Mikey says, what? Does anybody in the chat that's actually gone through the gates with me want to explain to him what I'm talking about and who I am a little bit? Because I keep saying it from me, but those who have done it have done it. They've experienced it. They've felt these workshops, and I've walked them through the gates. They know what's real. Okay. I can keep saying, please watch the videos on my channel. I post the workshops. The whole entire ascension was brought through me. And I've actually uploaded a lot of it on my channel for you guys to see. I started out by clearing Mount Shasta, which was not filled with light at all. Then I activated pyramids in Fiji, opened up the portal of God, undid the false concept of time, healed the sun and the moon. Then I activated pyramids all over the globe, from Myanmar, Machu Picchu, Botswana, Thailand, Bolivia, Congo, Nigeria. There was a couple that I did in there that I actually created as well. I also processed the earth death. I turned the Nile blood red and dried it up. And all of this has been done in your energy, because that's the way God works. Okay. So nobody that's gone through the gates wants to talk about that. All right. So Gigi's up for a message, but I will tell you guys to watch my channel. Everything I said is very real. The lifetimes I had to clear started at Adam and Eve. That was Mount Shasta and Fiji. Okay. They took the root chakra. They closed off the portal of gods, and they created that false veil, which is represented by the triangle with the eye. And then I relieved all of the souls out of Mount Shasta because there was a lot of darkness there. Then I reclaimed it back to Fiji, opened up the God's portal, and closed down the portal of darkness, which Revelations 21:12 talks about. There's actually 13 gates. Then I went from there activating pyramids all over the globe. And these are very real. It took my light to do it. My heart became enlarged after I activated all the pyramids. It's been a thing. My job was to unite the twin flames, which I thought was all just the twin flames. Turns out that was Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Sekhmet, Horus, and Adam and Eve. But my original twin flame did die. And I talk about that because he refused to step out of the darkness. I saved his soul, was attacked the whole entire time, and I almost died 3 times on this journey. So it's very real. What I've done is very real, and God is actually paying attention to those who are willing to see it without judgment. So I do encourage you just to watch the videos on my channel. I have an ascension playlist that shows you the whole entire path that I did. It's not the entire path, because if you purchase the path to righteousness, you're going to see there's a lot more portals than what I actually post on this channel. Okay? Again, when I post the workshops, they're for you to witness. If you want to heal in them, you have to purchase the path to righteousness. If it's a money thing, don't let money stop you, because that's never stopped anybody. All they have to do is say, hey, I can't afford this, but I want to do it. This is what I can afford. I'm like, cool, here you go. So that's an ego thing. Okay? There have been people who've gone through everything I've done, who've gone through, and I've walked 4 people through the gates, including myself. You actually have a heart review at the end. All of your karma has to be healed, and then you get a key through the gates. It's a heart review that gets you into the new earth. If you're not pure in the heart, you don't go. That's the return of Christ. Okay? This last weekend, the workshop that I did, I opened up the gates. The weekend before, I processed her death. This last weekend, the gates opened. Garden of Eden encompassed all of the earth, and what didn't align burned. Okay? When I did Mount Kilimanjaro, the Congo, and Colombia, I burned the White House, and I burned Archangel Samael. Okay? So Jacinth actually did all the work, and my academy, she says, going through the gates was a beautiful end to a 3.5 spiritual journey. 3.5-year spiritual journey. She worked diligently at dissipating her shadow, and she was successful at this. She was pure enough of heart to ascend. So, yep, she made it through. Andrea, does my family go to? No, not all of them. My children are more guaranteed. My oldest is 21, so he has some free will, and right now he's being swayed a little bit. There's not much I can do. My mom, I offered her the path for free. I'm like, here you go, Mom. But every time she goes to do it, something stops her. Somebody stops her. And then she actually came at me with something that let me know she's not seeing clearly. So no, I can't. You going through them allows those to rise that are with you. But you have to remember it's free will. Okay? God will never negate somebody's free will. Everybody wants to know why God allows suffering. God didn't allow suffering. It came about through people's free will. Okay? Jacinth says she worked very hard at this and could not have done it without me. Thank you. I'm grateful for you too, because she did it. She didn't give up, and she didn't let her shadow stop her. She did all the healing, and we got to walk each other through the gates at the same time, because she did it right along with me the whole entire time. In truth, I was supposed to have 10 apostles, and I only have 3 that went through so far. I have 4. One's working her way through right now. So it's very real, it's very real. I'm surprised Amy didn't say anything, but then again, it's been hard for me to get her to be able to. I know she can comment now. She was here. I don't know if she still is. So Gigi wanted a card. Lisa wants a card. And Jacinth does, right? I've got you 3 because you went through my workshop. So I know it go fast talking about this stuff, you guys, but it's actually taken me almost 4 years to do it all. And I could spend here all day talking about the path, proving to you over and over and over again the videos that I post, the work that I do. I've done them through workshops. They've all been witnessed and recorded and uploaded. And my whole entire awakening played out on this channel for you which is the entire thing of it, is the return of Christ. Everything I brought is the return of Christ. That's who I am. I'm not a starseed. I'm not a light worker. I can prove this to you. This is not my ego. I'm not afraid to do messages live. I'm not afraid to answer Q&As. I do live healings all the time as well, usually through donation based. I've thought about doing some free ones, but again, when you're actually truly working with the master or through God, what I do is draw your shadow out, and it will truly bite you. So I do ask for you to be careful, and that's a lot of times why I ask for exchanges. Okay, so let me take a drink of my coffee, and then I'm going to give some free messages that for those that did my last workshop with me. All right. Okay. So today's course is so exciting, you guys. To actually teach how to read tarot and oracle cards the correct way is so exciting to me. So exciting to me because it's not third dimensional. No, it's not. I can't wait. That's how come when I read them, it's different. It's different than anybody I've really seen doing it, right? It's just so free falling. Like I don't have to read the book. I can just a pure channel, and that's truly what it's about. How do you become a pure channel? Right now, you have to be healed and open in the hot space. You have to be aligning with Christ's light, because I also brought Christ's light down. I don't upload a lot of those videos. Those are part of my path to righteousness, because once you integrate Christ's light and you do my path that I brought through, because that is your direct line through the gates, it's important for you not to be swayed, okay? Because once you're swayed, it can really bite you. You can anchor into the wrong places. Since Friday, though, I will tell you, the timeline shortened. So I changed the timeline for the collective whole because I opened up all of Christ's light. So now everybody has no choice. Heaven has been opened up. Christ has returned, and it's the day of reckoning. And Andrea did ask really quick. I want to reiterate this question, you guys, because this is important to know. Andrea asked, can my family ascend too? You as a person come to this earth in this lifetime for a reason. You all signed up for this, okay? You had an agreement with God. You had an agreement with everybody in your karmic contracts. That's usually your family members, your karmic relationships, that you were going to use these to heal, to align with God. All of your lifetimes have been combined into this one. I talked about that diligently when I opened up the portal of time. Okay, and also when I undid the false concept of time. And in a couple of the other pyramid activations workshops I did, I told you I reversed time. So what you have essentially signed up for in this lifetime, that's why there was a lot of people here at once, is that you are the chosen one in your own family line. Okay, that means you had an agreement with God. You chose that you were going to help carry your ancestors through. You were going to help clear all of your karma through all of your past lives, not just this one. So you don't even know what your karma is all of the way. And there were a lot of healers that were undoing contracts, quote unquote healers, that shouldn't have been doing that. And it caused a detriment. So in the path to righteousness, part of what I do is call all of your contracts back forward. So that way you can heal your karma. I heal your shadow. You draw them out to go through the passageways. That way you're pure of heart. You can see it coming and you can bypass and choose light the whole entire way. That is your keys. Okay. I do hold the keys. I also do your heart review. It's who I am. It's not ego-based. Trust me. It's a responsibility. It's not. And most people just judge it. Okay. So when you chose to do this, if you choose to do the healing, you are giving your whole entire family line, your karmic line, the ability to do it too. Okay. However, it is through free will. So if we have children that are under the age of 18 that are not able to make their own free will choices, it's actually more like 25, they're saying, because our mind's not fully developed. Okay. So if they're under that age frame, we are in more control of what they receive and they don't receive. If we have adult relatives, it's totally through their free will only. Okay. But if you don't choose to do it, they can't either. So if you guys remember on my twin flame journey, when my first DM was choosing not to follow God, I cried. He had a child. He had family that will not get to ascend now because of what he did. It's real. Okay. That's why if you're here in this lifetime, you're already a chosen one. So when I hear Andrea or Landria Unk talk about that, I'm like, nope, that's from her ego. Okay. So Andrea, that's relevant. Everything I've done goes with the Hopi prophecy. I've actually talked about that over and over and over again. Everything I brought about is part of the Hopi blue prophecy. Everything I brought about aligns with revelations, all of it. And if you truly watch what I do without judgment, without ego present, just watch. That's all you have to do. Just look at it. Just look at it. You can't deny what I did. And then I even show you what Spirit wants me to show you with Revelations and what I did. What does he say in Revelations? He brought it back through the bride. I brought your bride. If you guys remember me doing this, I had to wake up my DM. I was his bride. Okay, I am not a chosen one. What Spirit said when I did the Nile is I'm the one. I'm the queen of life. So if you're here in this lifetime, you're already a chosen one. I was like, shit, we're all chosen once. Because you are supposed to be the line that was strong enough to clear all the karma for your ancestral line. Okay, so if you choose not to ascend, those around you that you're connected to cannot also. Okay? Yep. When my DM died, I cried so hard because I knew his son was no longer going to be able to ascend either. If you don't choose to ascend, it's not just you that you're affecting. And if people could see clearly what it really was, I feel everybody would choose to ascend. But because also the DM didn't step up in time, we've lost some twin flames. Okay? It's very real. And it's not about ego. It's not about who's better than who. It's not about any of that. It's about coming together in unity and love and being like, shit, I fucked up. I'm so sorry. I love you. Great. That's clearing your karma. Can you do that? Can you see it? You know what I'm saying? So yes, it's relevant. If you choose not to ascend, your whole entire ancestral line won't be able to either. Why is that? Because you were the chosen one. If I chose to go against any of this and not listen to God, no matter what pain came against me, because those that truly watched my thing saw the pain that I went through. It was massive. This was not easy. I literally was attacked by fallen angels, or what you would call Samael, or Lucifer, or El Diablo. There's many titles. Yes, I was attacked. Yes, I almost died. I've gotten blood clots. My heart was enlarged, activating the pyramids. The attacks on me took every bit of my, like, it was bad. I'm still healing from that to this day. Like, it was real. This is very real. It's not a joke. Okay? It's very real who I am and what I've done. And all you have to do is open your heart to see it. God's like, I keep giving you, but people don't want to see God. Okay? And you're running out of time because I've already brought Christ back. So that's your shadow. Andrea says something tried to keep me away every time that. So my job is to show you your shadow. So if you think for a second you watching my video doesn't spark your shadow, you're wrong. Your ego will try to bite you. Your shadow will try to bite you. And people spew that to me all the time. They're like, I don't see the Nile drawing up. Remember that? I'm like, well, actually you weren't paying attention because what I did was biblical and Spirit showed you right away. When I undid the false concept of the moon, if you watch that one, I literally said that there was this satellite that could hear you, and when they try to listen again, their ears are going to bleed. And then I said there's going to be a satellite that falls out of the sky, and about 18 hours later, one fell out of the sky over Oregon. But you have to watch that video, and I posted the proof and under the link of that one too. So everything I've done, there's been proof. It's up to you to see it because God's looking for those that can see God. Okay? That's your key through. If you truly watch the videos, the proof is there. I don't have to prove myself to you. It's up to you because you either make it through or you don't. I've made it through. Okay? I could sit here and continually try to hold people's hands and continually show them the proof. I keep doing that, right? But how many people actually watch it? Okay? It's like, hello, hello. All right, so I'm going to do these free messages, and then I'm going to get ready for my course. I've got to cook dinner for my chitlins in between, so I'll be sending the Zoom links out because this is a live course. As we do the days, they will be uploaded into the course platform as well, so you will always have access to it. Keep in mind, my courses are also workshop courses. We learn, we heal, we grow, we love. We are going to practice too, okay? All right. And Andrea, that's exactly right. Something always tried to keep me away too, especially uniting with my twin flame. I heard all of this darkness. He doesn't love you. It was always darkness. Oh, do drugs. Oh, do this. Oh, do that. Every time you try to ascend or get closer to God, the shadow or your ego will try to stop you. That's why when you do my path to righteousness, I help you take your power back. I help you draw out the entire shadow, collective and individual. This is not layered. This is the entire thing. And I realign you with your karmic contracts and draw those to the surface as well. Then I take you through the gates, and it's your job to not allow the shadow and the karma to reintegrate and to call your power back. Then you get your DNA activations, you upgrade powerly and through the whole entire you. It's a rebirth either way you go. You are either reborn here or somewhere else. And some will never know this at all. Okay? That is the return of Christ. You are either, some will go, some will stay, and some will never know life this way, and it is you reap what you sow. It's karmic based. God doesn't judge. God loves everybody. It's people who judge. It's the ego. It's the shadow. So when those come to me and already you can see their shadow and their judgment surface, that's my job, is to highlight that. They just allow it to take them away. And when I said that, it was 11111. So who was the first to comment? Was it Gigi? Like, who commented first? For every free message. And the only one who actually spoke about going through the gates was Jacinth. So I do thank you, Jacinth, for being open to be honest and to be yourself and to help call people through and to show that the things I talk about are true. Because when I talk about them on Facebook, it looks like I have nobody following me. It looks like nobody does the work that I do. So I just thank you for being you. Jacinth says, oh yes, I can vouch for that too. She constantly had situations and people and ego stepping in that tried to veer her off her path. Constantly, you guys, people will try to stop you. That's why Spirit says it's an inward journey. The moment you open up your energy to other people, they are part of your karmic contracts and they will try to stop you. It doesn't matter. Husbands, it doesn't matter who they are. Relatives, husbands, best friends, doesn't matter. Okay? They pick up the asshole energy is what I call it. But it's shadow, it's ego, and they try to stop you. Because you better believe this is a fight for your soul. Okay? So when you work with me, it's very real. And the ego and the shadow will bite you. That's why what I do is I wake you up. I help you call your power back. I eliminate the whole entire collective and individual shadow. And I also realign you to your karma, draw it all to the surface. That way when you go through the gates, you're not engulfed in it. You can see it clearly. You can choose the light and you make it through. It's still your choice, though, to choose the light. I cannot stop you. God cannot go against free will. So you can come here and judge me, or you can come here and say, you know what? Maybe she's right. I'm going to at least watch these videos. It's up to you. Jacinth says, but I got back on my path and started again. Yep. She didn't always win. That's the thing. We don't always win. There are setbacks. Sometimes we get in the way. Sometimes we don't believe in ourselves enough. It all stems from self-love. Sometimes we want to be accepted so much by other people that we allow that to sway us. And if we do that, we're in trouble. But what did she say? She got back up and got right back on it. And that's the key. Okay? Not ever easy, but very much worth it. Exactly. And that's why not everybody will make it. When I did the Nile workshop, if you actually watch that, they literally say in that, not everybody's going to make it. They won't. Right before I did the last workshop, where I completely engulfed the earth in the Garden of Eden and in Christ's light and in the gates of heaven, people left me right before that too, because they won't make it through that gate. Okay? So if you're still here, if you can heal me, if you can hear me, you've got a chance. Those that can't make it through the gates, disappear along the way. Okay? And it is never easy. I thank you, Jacinth, for speaking your truth, for letting people know. If you do that on Facebook too, oh my gosh. Yep. And Gigi says it may be 5 steps forward and 1 step back, but don't ever give up. That's the key. Keep going. Don't give up. It is your job to do it. I can only provide you with the tools and the path to do it. It's not a joke when I tell you that this is what I do and this is what you have to do. God literally tells you the true word of God, what he's going to provide to you. He says, I promised you this. All I'm asking you to do is have faith in me and what I've provided to you. Am I the masculine form of Jesus? I'm his feminine counterpart. Do I have a twin flame? Abso-freaking-lutely. I can feel him every day of my existence. He's just doing his own thing and own healing path too. My original one died. If you think for a second that Jesus being depicted on the cross was not intentional, it was. They stole his soul. That was the unholy grail. Okay? Everything I'm talking about is on this channel. I put most of it in an Ascension playlist so that you can see it, but the entire channel is my whole awakening and me bringing back Christ. The entire channel. And I have more in my path to righteousness. Those are just for people who choose to take that path. That's your guaranteed way through. But it's up to you to make sure you choose the light every time. And just like these ladies said, sometimes you fall off and you say, shit, you dust it off, say I'm sorry, get right back up and keep going. If you think repentance is enough, you got to heal it. God says, I hear you. Here's the path. Take it. And most people won't. Okay? Yes, God can align you at the right timing. However, we are still on a time limit, you guys. When I said we had 2 years left, that's not a joke. Okay? Some have less. When I brought Christ Light the other day on Friday and I engulfed the whole entire earth with heaven, those that don't belong burned. Okay? We are in our final timeline. And how many people on YouTube do you guys hear saying that? And a lot of them preach the word of God. Okay, that's the interesting part. Even De La Roca is not seeing everything. He has more awakening he could do, if you haven't noticed. Okay, that Alwyn guy, he's very connected. And probably because he's just simply pure of heart, he had that accident. It makes you humbled, for sure. And he is just completely open. And I got chills when I said that. And he talks about this all the time. He saw Mount Shasta. He saw what I did there. And he doesn't know me. If you watch, I show you guys this. But you did, Andrea. But you did. You started going out through my path and you did, and that's where you stopped. It's not a straight way forward. There are a lot of challenges and the road has many twists and turns. That's that spiral, right? All right, Gigi, are you still here? You're up first, I believe, right? I don't know if Lisa's still here. I can't remember who said first. Thank you, Gigi and Jacinth, for speaking your truth. I'm really needing people on Facebook because there's a lot of judgment towards me on Facebook because nobody speaks their truth. Gigi, all right. All right, Gigi, you are up, girl. Oop. I burp. For those who don't know a real healer, we burp to release. And right when I'm going in Gigi's energy, whew, I'm burping. Ooh. Okay. Gigi, I have to say this. Cool, Lisa's still here. All right. Gigi, I have to say this. Your husband still has a shadow, okay? You do pretty good staying outside of his shadow, except for one thing. When you get intimate, it's entering into your sacral. So each time you need to call your power back. Otherwise, he won't be able to do the same. Does that make sense? I don't want to say it any more than that because we're here. When you are intimate, his shadow is entering through your sacral. It is your job to not allow that to happen every time. Each time you kick it back, it will cause him to awaken further if he chooses to do so. He is not fully awake at all. He has quite a big shadow. It's his job to heal it, but you can help by guiding him, by making sure to give his back to him every time. Because essentially what's happening is it's a vampire energy and is stealing your energy. This is not intentional. This is subconsciously. Excuse me. There's a karmic contract there. Whew. Holy majoli. You see these cars flying out for you, GG? Eek, eek, you. Okay. They want me to pull a few more to get the full picture for you. That is a big part of the message, though, is that his shadow keeps integrating. It keeps blinding, trying to blind you. But he doesn't do it on purpose. This is not him trying to do that. He doesn't know he's doing it. It's when we are intimate with people, we take on that energy that they're carrying. That's why you have to be very careful who you're intimate with. And the energies don't align. They're not the same vibration. So it actually is clogging up your sacral chakra. So make sure you clear it every single time. Purge it and send his energy back to him. This will cause him to stop draining your energy and will force him to awaken or not. Okay? Because of right now, it's like a crutch. What was crunchy? Like, what was crunchy? Please explain. I burp is a healer. Some healers do that. It's a release. All right. Yep. Okay. Trickery is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Gigi. Trickery. Distraction. This is exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm telling you exactly where it's coming from. He is trying to distract you. This is the energy. It's his shadow. It's not him doing it consciously. This is subconsciously. And your love for him can blind you. You need to focus on, self-interest, okay? He has a need to stop you because it's trying to stop him too, all right? This is, for him to heal, his shadow has some painful pieces. He doesn't want to feel them. So he drains your energy, okay? It's like the vampire energy. It will drain from you. It's really getting in there when you are intimate with him and in the safe space you feel, but it's not. It's really affecting your sacral, okay? Make sure you are anchoring into the right community. That's a big, big thing. Self-interest is at play. There's some distractions here, right? So you need to make sure your compass is more inward and that you are clearing your energy diligently. Because if he keeps draining yours, he's not going to awaken or heal in time, okay? But if you keep making sure that you don't allow his energy to infect yours in a loving way, he will have the opportunity to be forced to awaken through free will or not, okay? I hope this makes sense. Because we also have this. There's an energy here of patience, okay? When we call something forward, let go of expectations. We never know when it's going to come forward, all right? You have two things here of prosperity. You have prosperity begins and material and spiritual prosperity. Both of these talk about being grounded, having the right mind space, and like ascension based, okay? So you need to focus on positive movement forward, right? Co-creation with spirit every day, not worrying about when and how or anything like that. That's not for you to worry about. Don't worry because it's already on its way. We're already promised these things, right? It's our job to be open and to know how to call them forward. This also talks about being seen. If you're afraid to be seen, your abundance cannot rise. Because it doesn't work that way. That's judgment and that's anchoring into others' judgments. So this energy is getting in through your sacral and it's stopping him from awakening as well. These are self-interests, right? Self-interests that take... This card really truly speaks loudly. Like, how do I explain this? Self-interest. When this card comes up, it's about, just like I talked about, like if you compare Teal Swan, right? Her self-interest is ego-based. She doesn't care if people kill themselves. Why not? It's a reset. No, it's not. Okay. It is karma you have to clear either way. That is not the way to go. Okay? That is a painful solution. It also hurts others, but they don't care if they hurt others because they can't see clearly, right? It's not that they don't care, they just can't see clearly in the moment. So it's super, super, super important to make sure that your compass is inward, because it's not about self-interest just for you. That is the way we can positively affect everyone around us. There is trickery going on here. They're trying to sway you. It's a distraction because your husband's shadow is quite painful. So anchor into the correct community, completely cleanse your energy diligently, especially your sacral, because it's a vampire energy. When you take your power back, he will be forced to either awaken or not. It's his free will. Okay? Otherwise, he won't be able to see clearly to awaken. And then you, if you keep your positive movement forward, have patience. Patience comes in the Master Arcana. It's a life-changing decision, okay? I bring this forward and I let it go. It's that balance and it's that power within you. That is where your prosperity begins. And when you're willing to stand in your own balance and your own reflection and allow others to see you, that is where your prosperity will come through. Okay? Quite a big message. I hope all of that makes sense for you. I still never got a response to that was crunchy. People throw out comments, but they won't explain. All right, who is next? Amy says popcorn. Amy still is here. I don't know what popcorn's about, though. I was in the moment of channeling. Forgive me. All right, who is next, guys? Exactly. It takes strength, but your job is not just for you. It's for our whole entire ancestral line, or they won't make it through. Lisa says, May. Me. All right, clearing energy. If you've never worked with a true healer, the burping can be quite normal. So if that totally gets you grossed out, then never really worked with a true healer. We release in some way, shape, or form. Can be burping, can be sweating, can be feeling the pain, crying it out for you. Many, many, many things. You're so welcome. All right. Lisa is next. Lisa, the first message I hear is pay attention to the grand design. There's something in the bigger picture. So when you're focusing in the surface level, you can't see the bigger picture. Okay? When you are I know, I'm so glad that she's back too. See, that's the point, is when you fall off, get right back on. God is never in judgment. Only people are. But Lisa, the grand design is what I keep hearing for you. So there's a tendency for you to only see surface, but that's normal because that's where you were, right? And now you're opening up to more. You're seeing clearly. You're seeing a bigger picture. There is way much more at play. And the more that we can see that is because we get out of our head space and more into our heart space. That's where God is. That's where true energy lies. Our head is ego, the shadow, all, the more you do that, you're seeing a bigger picture. It's never about what's playing out in the surface. It's always about this bigger picture. And that's what God says. That's where he is, right? There's so much more going on than meets the eye, but that's not your message. It's pay attention to the grand design. Okay? Super important for you. Pay attention to the grand design, because when you are totally, completely trying to analyze, trying to think about things, you're missing some things. Sometimes you got to let them go. Don't think too hard. Feel it rather than think it. Feel it rather than think it. Pay attention to the grand design. They want me to give an example. When I was growing up my whole life, I didn't do things the other way people did them, especially those around me. I was what they call like the white sheep, right? I did not fit in. I was around heroin addicts, meth addicts. That was my whole life. I didn't do those things. The only thing I ever did was smoke pot, okay? But I didn't fit in because of that. I was teased. I was always called names. I was picked on a lot. My family disowned me in some arenas. My dad disowned me a few times over, cut me out of his will. And I was always okay with that because I had to do what was true to my heart space. I knew that there was something bigger at play. Church didn't make sense to me, but I knew I had God in my heart. There's a grand design. There's something bigger going on here. And that's the same thing for the ascension. It's so hard to understand it on a surface level. We can't understand. And I feel like this is relevant, Lisa, because you're going through my things too. It's like when you try to understand, those who've gone through it can attest to this. When you try to understand on a third dimensional level, you cannot. The shadow will take over because God is bigger than that. When God truly speaks to you, it's a message that takes a long time to decipher. It's not one we can analyze in our head, but it's one we can feel in our heart. And if we try to think about it, then our ego gets in play and our shadow gets in play, and we can't hear the whole entire totality of the message. Pay attention to the grand design. All right, let's see what else they're saying. Your throat is blocked a little bit. But that makes sense because you went through the healing workshop. So just push the energies through. Make sure you're constantly pushing the energies through because there's a lot of expansion and upgrade going on for you. Excuse me. Something very important for you is balance. You have to be in balance at this time because you're in the ascension portals. We cannot see clearly to the grand design if we are out of balance. You can be out of balance in many, many ways, right? If I'm just focused on money, I'm not in balance. If I forget self-care, I'm not in balance. Your energy is blocked, right? As you go up through your heart to your throat. It's not like it's a detriment. You just have to push it through. This is because of the expansion work that was doing. So make sure you're staying in balance and pushing your energy through just like I taught you in the academy, okay? Let me see. Yes. Right now you are supposed to be in celebration. Do not let anything take you away from celebration. That's okay because it's a very high vibration. All right. But we also have your shadow very much so trying to take you down every turn. This is big. You are knee deep in the dark night of your soul. You are knee deep in your shadow, but you're supposed to be because I've surfaced it. Remember that. You are going through the path. Lisa is going through the path. So she is knee deep in her shadow because of that. Okay. But I mean, you're not knee deep in it. What I mean by that is it's all surfaced around you. All right. So stay in balance so that way you can see it clearly. When somebody's knee deep in it is because they haven't surfaced it. So let me correct that. You have surfaced it because you've gone through, you've started the path to righteousness. However, there is one thing that will sway you, and that's feeling into all the heartache and loss. If you sit here and we focus on those for too long, the shadow will overcome you. Okay. That's where it gets you, is when you get into those emotions, they get really overwhelming and you don't want to feel them. And then we try to stop them. We try to block them. We can't see the grand design. You have to be very careful to remain grounded, to remain in balance. Okay. Because, and do rejoice and celebrate. There's nothing saying don't do that. Joy is a very high vibration. Okay. Celebration is a very high vibration. And it also helps us to get away from our grief. Now, how can we celebrate when there's heartache and loss? That's a mental complex. Okay. That's ego. Nobody who dies is going to tell you never to feel joy again. We do that to ourselves. Okay. Because we have like this guilty or survivor's guilt or these kinds of things come into play. Not necessarily all describing you. But as we heal and we clear the karma and clear the shadow, there is heartache, always heartache and loss. We've all experienced that if you're alive on this planet. So as those emotions rise, they can get very, very, very heavy. And that's where the shadow takes over. We don't want to feel them because they're difficult. And what does the world teach you? Take a pill. Don't feel it. Don't, it's this and it's that. The world around you creates anxiety. Okay. If you keep taking a pill, you're numbing your ability to be you, period. Okay. It sucks because we have to feel it. So in those moments when the emotions take over, it's hard to see the grand design and the shadow is always knocking at your door. Okay. So stay in balance, keep making very careful, grounded, co-creative decisions, and do celebrate because I know your birthday is in like 2 days. So do celebrate. This is rejoicing, but there's also manifesting that can come through. You just got to not let the energies take you down into the shadow. Okay? Hang on. There's one more card they want me to pull. It's all about a grand design. So when something tries to get you to surface, to go small in your thinking, let it go. Get out of your head really, really, really fast. Find the energies of joy and love and celebration, and allow spirit to guide you. Co-creation. Stay in balance. Keep your compass inward, not outward, because the shadow is trying to sway you, and it will continue all the way until you make it through those gates. It does not stop trying to sway you. Okay? Does not stop. I hope you are hearing my message. I know y'all are talking, but I hope you heard that because it's really important. So Justine says one of her most difficult things to learn, to get out of her head, to stop analyzing and to want to understand. Yep. She simply needed to learn to trust, to feel, and to intuitively sense her way. Yes. Beautifully said, Justine. That is where God lies, is in the heart. The shadow and the ego lie in the mind. Wayne Dyer said it best when he taught everybody to get in the gap. That's why I taught that as well. Super, super, super important. One more card for you, Lisa. And then we have Descent. Yep. Okay, 2 cards. Yep. Grounded. It's what I told you. Ground through nature. Nature is your key. Also, the Sequoia meditations that I take you through in the path will also help you stay connected to the earth, okay? Memories. This is a difficult one for you because it brings memories of heartache and loss, but you need to fill them. Dance in the memories that bring you joy and process the ones that don't. Do not sit in them for too long, because if we sit in grief for too long, it overcomes us and then we can't see clearly. Make sure you allow yourself to cry. Do not take anything outside of God. God says everything has a rebirth, right? Because nothing truly dies. So make sure you're keeping that energy going. It's not about suffrage, it's about love. Okay, if you can bring yourself into the heart space to love and rejoice in celebration, that is what allows the tough memories to pass and the good ones to rise. Make sure you are in co-creation. Stay in balance to stay out of the shadow. Use nature as your guide. Okay? Amy says it doesn't stop. It's a hard thing to let things go, but once you learn to, the things you have asked for come your way. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that was a lot, Lisa. I'm exiting your energy. So that was the end of the message. I hope you heard it all very clearly. Who is next? Was it Jacinth? Amy? Absolutely. It's not easy. That's why not everybody will make it. Because they don't want to. They don't want to feel these things. They don't want to see the truth. They don't want to feel the pain. How do we heal something? We have to feel it. We have to see it, to feel it, to release it. That's why when you go to the doctor and they want to give you a pill to numb the pain, no. It's also why when my arm was completely mutilated, when my DM was with the fallen angel, I couldn't even take pain pills. I couldn't do surgery. They squeezed my bones all back together and I had to deal with that pain. That's one of the only reasons I made it through, or that would have stopped us. Because if I do something in my system, my DM can't see clearly. Same thing I was maybe doing to my new DM because he didn't show up. Okay. And when I drank that glass of wine last night, I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to blind you. You can still see. I'm so sorry. I love you. It doesn't just affect me. Okay. So was my arm mutilated by a fallen angel? Yes, it was. This whole bone split, broke out of my skin. My DM was with the fallen angel at the time. He was blocking the ascension, and spirit said, do this or else I wouldn't survive. And I knew it. And I couldn't even take a pain pill. I had like a half of Excedrin a couple times. They tried to give me fentanyl in the hospital. I freaked out. I felt every bit of the pain. They squeezed my bones back together, said I had to have surgery. I knew I couldn't go under or my DM was in trouble. All of that I did for him, and he still chose against God. So when I got a walk-in, I was thankful. Do I miss my old DM? Just the love. I just want my new DM to do that. But I really don't miss him because he hurt me badly. Okay? Adam and Eve. This was the main lifetime I'm playing out. Everybody's looking for Jesus. How about let's encompass all of God? Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus. All the same soul. All the direct descendant from God. And that is everything that I have cleared, is those 3 lifetimes. Okay, and it plays all out on this channel. Started with Mount Shasta, Fiji. You see what I'm saying? Then it went into the stuff with Jesus, Mary Magdalene, the sun and the moon for Sekhmet and Horus, all of that. It's all there. Who is next? Are we done with messages? Was it Gigi and Lisa? Jacinth and Amy don't want a message? You got to hurry because I'm out of here at like 1:11. I got to go make chili before my workshop starts. Because I'm a mama too. Speak now or forever hold your pee. Yes, please. All right. Jacinth is up. All right. So, yep. Got a new deck coming through. They also want me to pull one from my ascension deck. Okay, for Jacinth. So you are something with ascension, still ascending. So even though we've made it through the gates, we don't stop, right? There's still healing and learning. We just don't have any more karma left. We've cleared it all. We have a pure heart, but there's still lessons to learn. We still have growth to do. There's something for you. I don't feel like you're as afraid to be seen anymore. So they're just prepping you for a bigger stage. And you can feel it. It's causing some angst. I'm not Christian. I'm a mystic. I love that though. There is a false church and then there's true God. And I don't resonate with Christian. I'm a mystic. That's what Jesus was. That's why Spirit actually named me Juniper Blue Mystique. That's the name they gave me when I had my awakening. I didn't pick that. It took me a while to get used to it. A mystic is God is in your heart. That's why the I am is important, right? As far as religion, I just talk to God. God talks through me and I do his work. I did bring about all of Revelations, but most of the Bible is not true. So the false Christianity, the false Catholicism, we actually cleared that. Just saying, help me clear that on the ascension path. She was actually part of that purpose. So that was through the Vladimir bloodline. I always say that wrong. Absolutely. So false Christianity, false religion, these religious agendas will fall. So there's no label here. I am just of God. I am a mystic. That's what Jesus was. All right. If you want to know who I am, watch the videos. I am the feminine counterpart, not the masculine. Okay. All right. So we have Jacinth and then Amy. Jacinth. Yep, God is prepping you. It's like you can feel it like boiling water under your feet. That's the visual they're giving me. It's like boiling water under your feet. Right? Are you listening to your message? I hope so. Jacinth, it's like boiling water under your feet. They're trying to get you to move. Move your feet. Move your feet. It's going to get like a pressure cooker. You're going to feel it more and more and more rise because you have a purpose. So just allow Spirit to guide you. Not those who come in disguise. Not those who are still in their shadow. Remember that. There's a reason why we can't listen to those in their shadow, especially once you've crossed the gates, because the shadow is guiding you. That does not go with the lays of the land. That does not create true healing. Okay, so make sure you are listening to Spirit, your heart space nudges only, because this is relevant for that exchange that we did. Remember what happened? And we were both like, what just happened? It's relevant for that, right? It's a lonely path, meaning your guidance will come from your heart. Doesn't mean that I can't have something, you know what I mean? So make sure you are following the true guidance. But if you hesitate on the nudges, it's like boiling water under your feet. It's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter. Hotter, not harder, but both. Necessary changes ahead, my friend. These are from my deck. See, these are ascension things, okay? Needed to release old patterning. That's what is happening. And you see all the green around here? It's relevant, right? This is heart-centered. So this is also how I teach you how to read cards. My deck doesn't have a booklet, okay? There's a reason for that. I love this. So I'll probably use this a lot too when we do our course. Necessary changes are happening to you, but they're also ahead. Right now, it's very time to release old patterning, and this is what they're talking about, okay? It's like the boiling water is going to get hotter and hotter underneath your feet. Also sounds like harder, but it will get harder if you deny them. So make sure you're co-creating and letting go of all that is not that. You get to choose what defines you. All right. You get to choose what defines you. Remember, once we go through the gates, it's pure freedom at hand. Choose wisely to the truth of your heart for the benefit of all involved. All involved. Okay. Choose wisely to the truth of your heart. Remember, I told you the green in this one was pointing to heart center. See how I read the cards? Sometimes I don't even need to. You get to choose what defines you. Choose wisely to the truth of your heart for the benefit of all involved. So be careful listening to those that have not crossed the gates, because they are in their shadow. They cannot guide you. Spirit can, and so can your heart. Okay? All right. And then it is time to co-create, to create the path around you. Your heart will never feel complete until you are truly satisfied from what defines you. Your joys, your passion, your truth. It is what is you. And the chills are insane when I say that. Whoo! One by one and two by two, all will fall if you allow it to rise. And then something about the skies. So you know how in olden days they would pay attention to the skies and let them direct them? Yeah, let the earth guide you. Let the world around you guide you. This is a lonely journey. You are traveling alone. Remember our exchange. We both did so. They did something to both of us, and they kept saying it's a lonely journey, right? It's meant to be traveled alone, but you're not alone. That just means people in the physical can't really go with you. It's your job to help guide them through. It's a travel journey alone, and make sure that you have the courage inside of you, because it isn't there. There's something about I'm not strong enough. Do you compare yourself with your strength with my strength? Sunshine, you've got strength in you. Can anybody be as strong as me? I don't know. I'm not normal, right? Yeah, I survived what I shouldn't have, but so can you. Like, there is strength in you that is, and why would you compare your strength to my strength? No, no, no. Your strength is yours, and you do have it. Allow that courage to rise. Call on the lions for support and courage. Remember, there was lions in that thing too? We were surrounded by lions. That was no joke. That was so cool. I love that message, just saying. Okay. I love it, that message. Oh, yeah. So these were actually for those that did my workshop. If I had time, Andrea, I would stay on and do donations too. But I will do that next time. We will just do donation messages. I might do it on Facebook soon too. I don't know if you're on it. Yep, courage. But no, it's not just about courage, because the courage is already in you. There's something about you that thinks you're not strong enough. Like, you've literally looked at my strength and you're like, I can't do that. Why would you compare your strength to mine? You have your own strength. And remember, we never know how strong we are until we allow it to rise. Yeah, I love that. All right. So, Amy, you are up, and then I got to go get ready for our course. If you want to join this course, this is to teach you how to read cards truly from God's eyes, through the pureness, through a pure channel, tarot, oracle, and we talk about other divinations too. It's also a healing workshop where on day 3, I upgrade your heart, your crown, and your third eye further into 7D. Because no matter what, if you are still in 3D, you haven't had the DNA activations, you're not pure of the heart, and you're not in Christ's light, you're not truly giving correct messages. They're not from God, they're from the shadow. So be careful who you're listening to. That's not a joke. The people who up level, like Landria Anka, she just gave a message from her ego. I was like, ooh, that's not accurate. Be very careful. Even those who are awake can sometimes miss the mark, okay? Because this is very real. I've brought down all this Christ light, all these DNA activations, and we got to rise into them, okay? All right, Amy, you are up. Okay. Amy, fear. Fear is what's defined you. Fear. There were choices in fear that have now defined you. And so if we look at that clearly, that'll help you. You'll be able to just step outside of that. You need massive healing of love. Pure, unconditional love of the highest form. You ready? Open your heart. You ready? I gotta do this, Amy. You need it from me. And they're saying you need it from me right now, and I'm getting chills. So I just want you to just open your heart. Can you open your palms? Take a deep breath into your heart and say yes. I heard you. I heard you say yes. You're like, of course. Open your heart. And I'm going to put a lot of love into there because you need it from me. There's something here that says, like, you feel like I don't see you and I don't want to, like, the forgiveness is needed, but it's already there. Okay. So just say yes, open your heart, put out your palm. I heard you, but you can comment too so others know that I am reading your mind. Here is this is a twin flame wand. These are mine and my DMs filled with love. Okay. So both of these are present for you. Open your heart. I'm putting a connection from my heart to yours right now. There's like this weird thing stopping the love flow. Bangkataya kampayu yuwa ang kataya la kantaya wa hitin kayu tuwa I think they ingata wa kataya hokantaya kampaya ta ayan kawaya taya katawa kawakataya katawa yakatang ko yuwa kawaya oh, the chills. And then Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Shamael just stepped right in. One's on your left side and one's on your right. Gabriel is on your left and Shamael is on your right, and they have their hands on your shoulders. You brought some muck through the gates with you, so we're clearing it. It's pure green light, pure white light going to your heart, and it's pushing these like shadows, something out of your mind space you can't quite see clearly. Shamael is pouring some like this beautiful pink and blue light going down through your crown all the way into your heart space. It's going to fill your heart space, and it's going down from there through your legs and into the ground, through every chakra. There's some muck in your root also keeping you ungrounded into the new earth. Let judgment go. This is old patterning. This is old patterning, but you needed to hear this. You needed this from me. You needed this from me. I've never, ever not been by your side, and I always will be. Okay? All right, let's see what the card has to say. You notice how I did that, and some people may have fallen away? Can they hear God's light? Sparks judgment, doesn't it? All right. This is urgent. You needed that from me. It couldn't have come from anybody else. It does not matter. It could not have come from anybody else. And that makes sense. That's what I was feeling the other day. Resistance. Let go of that. You have to let go of the resistance. Where there is resistance, it's because you're not anchored into the right path. Let go of the resistance and soar. Do not think. You're loved and forgiven in every way. Let go of the resistance and soar. Do not think. Let it go. No fear. Create from your heart space, which is now open and pure again. Amy, I love you, and I'm lost without you. It's time to step up. I have to break the cord. I gotta clear it. That was beautiful. You guys, that was awesome. Thank you for being here today. Those who have joined my course, it starts at 2:22 my time. It is now 1 o'clock. I'm going to go make chili, but I will send you your Zoom link now. Okay? That was beautiful. And I know she's crying and she's trying to breathe, so she probably won't comment much more. But I love you all for being here. I'm so thankful you were here. I know, I love her. I'm so glad she's here. Thank you for you guys stepping up and showing your truth. And if you wouldn't mind doing that on Facebook a little bit, because there's a lot of judgment at play there. They think that I'm making this stuff up. So it's up to you, though. It's up to them if they choose to see it or not. So either way. Okay. I love you guys. I will see you guys at the course. Pay attention to your Zoom links. I'm sending them out as soon as I disconnect from here. And to my DM, I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. And thank you. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'll see you later.